Hey guys, welcome back. Bolt Spider here, and today we're going to be doing a different type of video. Now, over the past few months, I've been collecting people's ban lists for a variety of reasons. One of them is because during every single time we're close to a ban list, I chuck almost everyone's ban list predictions into a good document to see what the community agrees and disagrees on. Overall, I have 27, including myself, different predictions ranging from well-known people like Team Sam, Simo, Slim Yu-Gi-Oh, MSTTV, Farfa, and many others. So let's get right into it, and the first card that a majority of people said, and for this list it is going to be the lowest amount for the bans, and everything else is the highest amount for the unlimits, semis, and limited. So the first card we have is Ben 10. This card is ran in Drytron, and this card could definitely see going. If not, it will stay at 1 because to help sell Lightning Vortex. Lightning Overdrive, not Vortex. After that, we have Vanity's Ruler banned. This card was said by a couple people in this, and I could definitely say this card could go away because it is a Jin type card, but it requires 2 tributes. Sadly, Drytron took this card away, but this would be interesting if this card actually went away, so a few strategies can't use it. Next up on the list, we have Red Eyes Fusion banned. Quite a bit of people said this, and I'm shocked because they didn't think of the aspects of Red Eyes, the deck, actually running the card. Now, it is understandable that one of the 3 pieces, Verte Anaconda, Dragoon, or Red Eyes Fusion, would get banned. Now, I'm in the advocate that none of the 3 will get banned because it's ran in not that many decks and it still needs a time to progress and see if people will play it or not, because you are simply running 3 to 4 bricks on top of 2 extra deck spaces if you have the space. After that, we have Mystic Mine. Mystic Mine is one of those cards that says you don't play the game. People don't want that in, for sure. After that, we have Cloud Castle. This is a hit to the lovely VW strategy right now. Cloud Castle recurs out any of your level 9 monsters from your graveyard, being a wild amount of level 9s that you can run, but mostly you're summoning back out Shen Shen to go into a second VFD. Overall, this is definitely going to be interesting, to say the least, if this goes, because it's also used in the hand loop version for VW, which is highly weird, but also is a 5-card combo. Next up on the ban section, we have True King of All Calamities. Everyone says this card is going to get banned. Not a single soul said it's not. Now, it could go down to 1, but it doesn't really do much. Sure, you have 1 less to go against, but running into 2 definitely needs to be fixed. I could say for sure this card can get banned with no thought. Now, I'm an advocate of not really liking to ban cards straight off the bat, but True King of All the Calamities takes this cake of the slice, takes a slice of the cake to get banned. After that, we have number S0, Utopic Zexal. This card is definitely going to deserve the lovely ban in due time. Now, why do you say that? This is also another card that says, oh, you cannot play. Cards that state you cannot play are like a little plague on the format, on the game in general, because we've had so many of them in the past, and they are actually trying to get rid of all of them that they can. And finally, for the last forbidden card, we have a total of 8, being Guard Dragon LP. Everyone knows its reasoning. It is because Dragon Link, but Dragon Link really hasn't been doing much outside of a few tops here and there. Now, it's one of those cards that limited card designs, and it also gives reasoning for a few of the cards that are at 1 and 3 for this list. So let's get into the limited sections. First card off, we have Astrograph Sorcerer. This card is a very powerful Link monster, Pendulum monster, and I think it should just stay where it is because it gave pendulums a little too much because how much utility it has with every single pendulum pile deck that there is. Overall, if Electromite comes back to 1, this card cannot come back to 1 unless if they balance other aspects of pendulums. Overall, 1 Astrograph Sorcerer could in fact do nothing, but you're still going to be sending it to the graveyard with, or sending it to your extra deck with Electromite to pop another scale, to summon it out, and get a draw on top of getting a search. After that, we have Destrudo, the Lost Dragon's Version. This is one of the tuner monsters that was preemptively banned before our lovely Needle Fiber came out, and it was used in myriads of decks like Dark Warrior or Dark Synchro, because it is a free level 7 or a link 2 for any deck. Now, could this card see play and come back? Yes and no. It really depends on how they structure the actual cards in the future on top of current cards right now, on how they hit or limit anything that we have. Overall, Destrudo is a free link 2 and a free Halka Fibrax for half your life points. But other than that, I don't really see a problem with this card. If it comes back to 1, people definitely run it in a lot of other decks. But overall, it is a good card. Next, we have Fairy's Tale Snow. This card is one of the most interesting but yet broken cards to ever come out. This card is still at 3 in the OCG, along with 2 Grass, 3 Reasoning, and Triple Monster Gate, last I remember. But Fairy Tale Snow is one of those cards that is a recursive Book of Moon on top of a free material for a Link Summon or XYZ Summon. Depending on the deck, you can use this card super well, and you can also utilize Orbital Hydra Lander. As the name states, it's a Highlander type card. Overall, Fairy Tale Snow, it could come back because we have 3 Book of Moon, but on top of that, it can't come back because it's free link material. And if I'm taking pause here and there, I'm sorry. I'm going to be talking a lot through this video. Next, we have 1 Lunalight Tiger. 1 Tiger won't do a thing, because you need multiples for the full entire combo. Also, Azathoth's banned, and many of the cards during that format are gone. So you can't really run Orcus combo because you're going to get ran into so many hand traps along the way. Overall, 1 Tiger would be fine, even though that some combos can still happen. After that, we have the Menacing Masterpiece, the True Draco Slayer. MBT thought that this card would be fine at 3, along with 3 Dynamite, 3 True King's Return, and 3 Into the Void. Overall, Masterpiece, I am an advocate for this card staying banned, but many people actually see it coming back to 1. Overall, this card is a Towers-like card, but it is one of the more powerful ones where, banish this continuous spell trap card from my graveyard, target a card on the field, destroy it, interruption, free interruption. On top of it being a quick effect, unaffected by most likely spells and monsters. Overall, I don't really see Masterpiece coming back, but this is what some of the community actually say. Next, we have Miscellaneousaurus. Miscellaneousaurus is self-explanatory. I don't need to explain it because Heavy Red Mist is a meme. Next, we have 1 Orcus Harport. A lot of people are advocating for pieces from Eternal format to come back, being cards like Harport, on top of other things like Mirage Stalio and Engage. Overall, Harport definitely boosts Orcus because all they have is 1 top in the past, believe it or not, in the past year. 1 top in the past year for the virus format. But anyways, this would definitely help out Orcus a lot in the ways that they need, because it is your 1 main piece in the deck that you need to banish to summon from deck because they got rid of Nightmare Mermaid. And luckily no one said that card can come back. Luckily people are smart about that. And a lot of other choices people aren't really smart about, like all the unlimits, or most of the unlimits. Because next we have 1 title. Having 1 Tempest to 1 title doesn't really do much, and this helps out a lot of water decks. Pretty nice. Overall, having 2 Dragon Rulers at 1 don't really do anything, because you can't really utilize them to their full power when you don't have all 4. Temp Title is the next one to, I would say, come off, because it is a Foolish Burial. But also, what decks can utilize a Water Engine? Only Mermail I can think of. After that, we have actually 2 cards that go hand in hand. I kind of just spoiled all of it. Excuse me. We have the Cursed Eldlin and the Elixir Scarlet Sanguine. These 2 are tied together hand in hand. People are saying, oh, if you limit Eldlin, that hits the consistency. You limit Elixir, that hurts the power of the deck. If we put both of them at 1, it makes it where the deck is actually fair. After that, we have the one Tenki. Tenki is, they hit it before, it does nothing. Because if you hit it to 1, cool, less consistency. But if you keep it at 3, you have more of a chance to see it, even though people still see it all the time when it was at 2. Next, we have Fossil Dig. It goes hand in hand with Misk, just to hurt Dino a little because it's a reinforcement of the army type card. After that, we have the one Magical Meltdown. This card could either see limited or banned because people have been normal summoning Alistair for the past 5 years. And that is sad to say. The past 5 years of normal summoning Alistair might get boring, but overall, it has been in different variants, being Mech Knight, or right now, anything that you can put invoked into. Overall, Meltdown would definitely be better at 1 because it is a powerful field spell that follows things like Diagram or Spiral Resort. After that, we have Nadir Servant. People are saying this is going to get limited. I don't see any Dogmatica hit because they really are a deck that goes in and out of the format. And this is one of the decks that actually do that because they all need certain formats to function like this. Oh, I rely on a heavy extra deck format. And what type of format are we in? We're in a format that's, oh, let's turbo out VFD or let's turbo out where my opponent can't play. So Dogmatica really doesn't do anything there. After that, people are saying that they really would like to see Engage to 1. This is the same reasoning as Harpor. It's the main piece of the deck. And only having 1 doesn't really do anything because you have to use Hayate to send it to summon out to Kagari to grab it back. And then you have to activate it, search a card, cool, get a draw, and you have to either set it off multi-roll or you have to keep looping it with Kagari. Overall, Engage is one of those cards that are very powerful at first, but when you lower its quantity, it becomes less consistent. That's why in the OCG, once they hit everything to 2, being multi-roll, Widow Anchor, and Engage, it really stopped seeing play because you're getting less consistent. Even though they have more draw power cards, they don't opt to use it because Engage is just better. And overall, I could definitely see Engage going up to 1. Because it's one of those cards that, oh, if you draw into it, you draw into it. You can only use it twice per the turn because you can't draw into another Engage. Having that 1 gives a little consistency to Striker, and overall, I need to stop saying overall, but I would have to say 1 Engage wouldn't do anything. Next, we have Summon Limit. Only one person said Summon Limit, but I'm still adding it here anyways. It is, oh, you summon twice? You summon twice. Oh, you can't summon. It's just a floodgate. It's another generic floodgate that everyone has access to. It has come and gone in formats depending on the format. Right now, this is one of the formats that you can run it in because it stops a lot of the decks, but it's not really a big problem because most decks right now, they can out it. After that, the final limit for the actual main deck, we have Chuche. People want Chuche limited because it makes the ground game better and they have to be more resourceful on how they use the card because you can't shuffle back your monsters as much, but also you have to be very, very you really have to be careful when you only have 1 because you can't get that constant pop and you can't go into many of the plays. So overall, the limited and banned section has hit 3 cards that VW plays, being Chuche, VFD, and Cloud Castles, so they really have to be careful after those lists if the community were to make the ban list. And overall, that's not a lot of fun for them because they have to be very cautious. And then for the other parts, you also have to change your deck so much just to actually make it work, and you have to find a way to recycle that Chuche back. But now we're heading on to the lovely limited. For the extra deck, we have Halqa-Vibrex. I don't see why Halqa-Vibrex is going to go down to 1, but it does limit the cases of, oh, I can run a second just in case. And overall, it's the same explanation for a lot of the cards on this. It's like, oh, I can run multiples, but do I want to? It would be better as a one-of, because we have so many power one-ofs in the game that we've gone away from that to actual full-fledged archetypes. And if Konami is trying to push back to power one-of days, that's definitely going to be interesting. After that, we have the Heavy Metalfoes Electrumite. Putting this to 1 because you also have things like Blazing Vortex with the new Metalfoes. And on top of that, we also have Ghosts from the Past with Metalfoe reprints in it. Now, on this list also, they have Astrograph to 1. So this could hinder a little, but it definitely gives more to the format than what we have now, with is like 2 to 3 decks topping mainly 2 to 3 decks, but also there's a couple decks that sneak in here and there. Now, if you thought the Red Eyes Fusion ban was enough, let's limit Dragoon of Red Eyes. People really want to see Dragoon of Red Eyes limited, which I actually see happening because you won't have access to multiples. You will have to play cards that recycle everything, or you have to play it carefully on where you negate with Dragoon, because once that one negate's gone, it's just free game and they can attack over your Dragoon. Overall, 1 Dragoon. I would be fine with that instead of like 2 or 3 like Guru can pump out. Next, we have Tellarknight Ptolemaeus to 1. This doesn't do anything because we don't have Azathoth. People aren't going to run a Cyber Dragon, no Infinity. This card is easily outed nowadays, and it was super fast in its time back in 2016, 2015, but nowadays it is actually considered slow. And getting the 3 monsters, cool, but you're never going to get 7 materials on this card. Overall, Tellarknight Ptolemaeus can definitely come off the list to 1, and if it does nothing, put it to 3, because this is one of the cards that I actually liked playing on top of other cards like Lavalval Chain, which no one wants Lavalval Chain to come back, but it's just a Foolish Burial for 2 materials. Sure, you get stuff in the graveyard that you can use, but you had to use more resources than Foolish Burial. And with that being said, the next card for the final limited piece is Thunder Dragon Colossus. People really want pieces of Eternal format to come back, being Colossus, Heartport, and Engage. It's the same reason 1 Colossus, I would say, won't do much, but you still have to mind running into it. Overall, having the Colossus there definitely gives a little variety to how Thunder Dragon plays. Luckily, they can't spam out multiples, but they can only get the 1, and once that 1's gone, they have to recycle it back with the Thunder Dragon Fusion, so they can try and summon it again. But I would say having the 1 Colossus definitely would help. And if you're scared about the Nemesis engine, don't be. No one's going to run it. After that, we have Danger Nessie and Danger Tsuchinoko. These 2 were mentioned a little. Nessie and Snake are 2 of the more powerful ones out of the 3 that are currently limited. But if you were to put all the dangers to 2, they still wouldn't do anything. If you put them to 3, they could do something, but people are past the days of running RNG upstarts. Like, sure, they'll help consistencies of the decks, but Only deck that would run it, really, because somehow Orcust Steel Bricks with 3 of each, with 3 Dark Griffer, is Thunder Dragon. It's just a indirect buff to Chaos Thunder. And really, what has Thunder done in the past, like, year? Not much. Sure, it had its format in Lunalight and in Lunalight and Spiral format, excuse me. But overall, I don't see it doing much. Then we have 1 Dynamite Knight, the True Draco Fighter. So we have 1 Masterpiece, 1 Dynamite. I don't like where this is going. Dynamite's fine. You can bring it to 3 all you want. Keep Masterpiece banned. That's all you need. And also, to pair this here, True King's Return to go to 3. It should have just went to 3 right off the bat. Overall, Dynamite Knight is one of those ones that gets your traps from the deck, but people, I have noticed for True Draco, they haven't been running their traps as much. Only like 2 Apocalypse and 1 Return, or 3 Apocalypse, 1 Return. That's all I see. But after that, we have the Infernity Archfiend to 2. Infernities have done nothing. It could go to 3, and they still will do nothing, because Infernity Barrage is... No, Launcher Barrage. Launcher Barrage, almost the same thing, right? Infernity Launcher is still at 1. Infernity Archfiend, your main targets to search are barriers and your launcher. And that's it. That's really it. Now I'm gonna hide this real quick because I need to change something. Okay. After that, we have Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. This card with the errata has done nothing. This card could go to 3 because it really hasn't done anything, and people still run the 3 Black Metal Dragon, 1 Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, and it still will do the same thing as how it was before, except you don't spam it as much. Overall, it can, in my opinion, yeah, it could go to 3. Next is Speedroid Terratop, the most controversial card, or one of the most controversial cards on the ban list. This card was hit down to 1 because of so many reasons. One of them was Zodiac. The other reason it stayed at 1 was because Salamangreat, MX Saber Invoker, and Mirage Delia were very, very big cards. And if you could run a Terratop engine, you would. Even in 3-axis whatever deck, you ran the 1 Terratop and the Taka Tomborg. Will this card ever see the light of day at 2 or 3? Probably not, because it limits the design for the lovely rank 3 pool, and it could definitely stay where it's at. After that, we have A Hero Lives to 2. Enough said, we have 3 Stratos. It won't do anything. Cutter Demise to 2. People want this peeled off. Some people want this peeled off. So far in this list, we have 1 Masterpiece, 1 of the level 2 of the Dynamites, and 2 Card Demise. True Draco looking nice. But outside of that, Card Demise, 2 would be an even ground, but you still can draw into 1 and then set it for the next turn. Then you could just do all your stuff, attack, and Card Demise again, which I don't want. It's at 1 for a reason. It was hit because myriad of decks were running it, and sure, it hit things like Magical Muskets and Draco, but I'm not a big advocate on Draco. After that, even though we've hit so much on VW, let's give them an E-Telly to 2. People want E-Telly to 2 for some odd reason. OCG did it at 2, but then they hit it down to 1 again. Because it's a free extender. It's just like Quick Launch. And Quick Launch could be on here, but no one has Dragon Link on their radar loops at a LP, because if you hit the LP, that gets rid of one of their main combo trees, which is fine. Next, we have Gateway of the Six. 6Ams haven't been doing any loops. 2 Gateway, sure, they have a searcher for Gateway. Yeah, that doesn't really do anything. Overall, yeah, this is fine. I don't have any comments on it because I really don't know the threat that this can do, but overall, sure, you get to search or summon out 1 Xian monster from your graveyard. If you remove 4 counters, you add 1 6 samurai. Sure, you could loop around counters so much, but it's like, who's gonna run that? Really? After that, we have 1 multi-roll. No, 2 multi-roll. So we have 1 engage, 2 multi-roll, triple Kagari, completely fine, in my book. Now that is it for the semi-limited section. It adds cards to it, but it doesn't really do that much. Now for the unlimits. This is the big oh boy. So you thought 1 Tempest and 1 Tidal would be enough. Let's try 3 Blaster and 3 Tempest. One person in the group said, oh, let's put Blaster and Tempest to 3. Blaster at 3 won't do anything, and Tempest at 3 won't do anything because it only searches out a Wind Dragon, and it helps sell the Dragoonity stuff. But we have 1 Tempest, we have 3 Tempest, 3 Blaster, 1 Tidal. We almost have full Dragon Rulers. No one wants Redox back because Redox is one of the more powerful ones as it's a monster reborn. Overall, 3 Blaster, 3 Tempest, and 1 Tidal. Definitely interesting. And we could kind of play Dragon Ruler almost. Next, we have the 3 Malicious. 3 Malicious won't really do much. It's just a meme at this point. Putting it to 1, putting to 2, to 3, to 2, to 3, and back and forth all the time. And overall, eh. Next, we have Skullcrow Bat Joker. Skullcrow Bat Joker at 3 is the one. This is my theory on Skullcrow Bat Joker. It is a normal summon Stratos that searches out Perform Pal, Magician Pendulums, and Odd Eyes. Stratos searches out. Let me bring Stratos up. Stratos searches out any hero monster when it's normal or specialed, and it's not a hard op. This is a hard op. Actually, no, this isn't a hard op, but you can only normal summon it. Why is this banned when Stratos is at 3? This could just come back to 3. That's my argument for Skullcrow Bat Joker. Then, of course, the little peek at Double Iris. 3 Double Iris, 1 Astrograph, 1 Electromite, 3 Lister Pendulum. That's a lot. That's a lot for Pendulum Magician. They could do a lot. No drawbacks, by the way. They only have to run into so many hand traps and Nibiru. But overall, a lot of Pendulum love. People really want their Pendulums back. Double Iris to 3 could be a little threatening because it searches out your Pendulum Graph cards and you can get through multiple for a lot. Next, we have Call by the Grave to 3. People really want this card back because it really needs it. And I would have to say, yeah, Call by the 3 needs to happen. Definitely needs to happen because it's a hand trap flooded format. Oh, and the next card is Dragonic Diagram. If you thought 2 Dynamite Knight, 1 Masterpiece, 2 card demise was bad, this was actually mentioned a couple times. Diagram to 3? Nope. Draco's gonna be very good. And I can't really talk about Diagram that much because we all know what it does. Next off, it's actually an interesting card, Raigeki. Raigeki to 3 is definitely going to be interesting because Overall, 3 Raigeki doesn't do anything. 3 Darkhold doesn't do anything. Kaiju Slumber at 3. Cool. Doesn't do anything. Lightning Storm at 3. People only use the spell and trap card wipe. That's pretty much it. And then after that, we have, believe it or not, because we're already banning as 0, let's bring back our Rigid and Chaos Force to 3. That's pretty fine. I definitely say this can come back to 3 then. Because without that 0, yeah, that's fine. After that, 3 Reasoning. Infernoids will love this. At least there's no grass, but Reasoning to 3 really doesn't do anything if we have 3 Monster Gate. Reasoning to 3. Sure, you don't have to tribute a monster, but overall, pretty good. Pretty interesting of how the interactions are, but a lot of things don't really do much. And this would be one of the cards. After that, thinking of an internal 3 Salamangreat Great Circle. Now, as I go on, I'm losing brain power because of how much there is on here, because I have to think of so many. It's not scripted at all. 3 Circle, because Salamangreats haven't been doing anything ever since Stalio really got banned. People tried it and kept trying, but it kept falling flat. And giving Salad something back definitely helps. Then after that, Time Seal to 3. Skip your opponent's turn or next draw phase. Skip the draw phase of your opponent's next turn. So what you do, you'd have this set. Oh, your opponent back row wipes. No. You just activate it. Oh, you don't get a draw phase next turn, but not a lot of decks care for the draw phase anymore. They play out of the graveyard. They send things to the graveyard. And all that. And then final main deck, Unlimit, is True King's Return. So we have 3 Diagram 3 Return, 2 Dynamite, 1 Masterpiece, 2 card Demise. Draco's looking nice. Overall. And yeah, the Dracos are a big W after this. I could say that for sure. After this, let's get to the final limited cards, and this is actually a very long video. Believe it or not. We have Diecast Diamond to 3. Doesn't do anything. Dwarlin to 3. Errata. Firewall Dragon to 3. Errata. Master Diamond to 3. FTK's dead, because Black Dragon and Brilliant Fusion banned. Ignister to 3. Doesn't do anything. Pendulum's got a lot of stuff as well. 1 Astrograph. The lovely 3 Skull Acrobat, 3 Double Iris, and the 1 Electromite, along with 3 Ignister. And then the final card, 3 Mirage Stalio. Oh, this is a big list. Salad gets a lot of their pieces back, except for the lovely Gazelle, which is fine. But overall, they get a lot of decks get a lot of pieces back, and a lot of decks get a lot of pieces taken away. Overall, this is how a ban list would look if you had 27 minds going at it at once, saying, oh yeah, let's get a mass list, and then let's narrow it down, which I'm going to condense down to an actual ban list that people could enjoy. But overall, this is 60 cards I just went through. I could have just done this instead. Yeah, here's all 60 cards. But no, I decided to talk about every single one. But I want to know your guys' opinions, as I'm going to put timestamps down in the description below. So it's like, oh, here's all the ban cards, limited, semi-limited, and unlimited. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this communal ban list. But anyways, I've been Bolt Spider. See you guys in the next video, and goodbye.